Hey everyone, welcome back to The Healthy Human. Today's video is going to be about how to stay healthy while in quarantine. Now, everyone knows that this whole corona thing has pretty much made everyone be stuck inside for the majority of the year. I'm in Victoria, so we are currently in stage 4. We're only allowed to go outside to exercise 1 hour a day. And yeah, it's a bit of a downer, and I've noticed that it is trickier to be healthier. Also, being stuck at home, I feel less motivated and I don't feel like keeping on track with my goals. Yeah, my mindset's more negative. So I've done this if anyone else is feeling like that, and hopefully these tips will help, as this is pretty much what I've been doing during this whole quarantine, just to make sure I'm still being and yeah, making sure I'm just making healthy choices. Now I've written these dot points down. I haven't written much about them, so this might be a whole lot of babble on the spot kind of thinking, but I hope you guys enjoy, and I hope these are useful for you. And also, these probably can be pretty useful if you are someone that also just works at home. If in the future, you know, we're finally out of quarantine and the whole world is better, but if you're working at home, sometimes these tips can actually help you with that. So on that note, let's get to it. So my first tip is to schedule regular catch-up times with your friends, either on Zoom or Netflix party. So with this, obviously with quarantine, you can't see your friends. We can only go within 5 kilometers of our house. So I haven't seen my friends for quite a few months, and I actually managed to see them a few months ago a couple of times while we had eased restrictions, but now we're back into lockdown. I haven't seen them for a while, and I feel like this lockdown is a lot harder than the previous one, so I think it's a lot more important to kind of maintain that social interaction. So with regards to that, me and my friends, once a week or twice a week actually, so once a week me and my friends, we do a Netflix watch party and we watch a TV show together. And we also use FaceTime to FaceTime each other during the show and kind of gauge each other's reactions about certain things that are happening. Then with another friend, I do another TV show at a different night of the week. And then also my friends just decided to do a kind of book club where we come together when someone's finished a book and we talk about all the books that we're reading, and we don't read the same book, we just talk about the different ones we're reading, kind of catch up, and yeah, it's just a kind of nice thing to do to make sure that you're still connecting, still making sure everyone's alright, asking how everyone's been doing. Obviously asking what everyone's been up to is kind of a bit boring because no one's really been up to much, but it's a really nice way to keep that connection going. And another thing that we did do last lockdown, me and a few friends, we did a song challenge. So for 30 days we basically sent a song in the group chat of a song that makes you happy, your favourite workout song, a song that reminds you of high school. So we're sending messages to each other every day, kind of sparking conversation, just making sure that we are talking to each other and making sure that we're alright and kind of keeping the good vibes up, because as we know, sometimes things can be a bit of a downer. So my next tip is to get up at the same time every day, or on working days, weekdays. So I find doing this kind of keeps me in a really good routine. So during the week, on the weekdays, I get up at the same time. I usually do my workout and then work, and I feel like it just kind of gives you a vibe of proper working days. Even though you're at home, you're not actually physically traveling, it feels like a normal week for me. So 5 days working, and then on the weekends I'm obviously a bit more flexible. So if you're at home working, or you're just at home, you are unable to work, try to get up at the same time every day. Now this could be like 9 o'clock, or this could be like 6 a.m. It doesn't really matter, just try to have some sort of structure in your day. So for example, with me, I get up about 6:30, I do a bit of yoga, and I kind of get ready for my day, do some journaling, maybe read for a bit, then I'll work for an hour or two, then I'll do my workout, and then I'll go back to working for a couple more hours, and then by the time 4 or 5 o'clock comes, I've done enough work for the day, and then I can just kind of relax like I usually would on a normal work day. This tip I think is really important. I think if you kind of just let your kind of routine slide, you kind of get up whenever you want, you don't really know what you're doing throughout the day, I feel like I felt like it really meddled with my structure and my mental health. I think now that I have a solid routine down, I feel a lot more energized, more motivated, I get a lot more things done, and I'm a lot more positive. It almost kind of keeps things normal despite the world not being anywhere near normal. My third tip is to not watch the news so much. Now, I don't watch the news often anyway, however, I've made an effort to pretty much not watch it at all. I watch the announcements that I feel like are kind of a need to know in case they change kind of laws and restrictions and stuff like that. But other than that, I don't really want to know. I feel like it's really depressing almost, especially when you find out how many cases were during the day, how many deaths. It's really awful, and I feel like it really puts a strain on your mental health. So I think it's definitely worth switching off and not watching the news so often. If you enjoy watching the news, that's fine, but maybe do it less often if you find that it is affecting your mental health overall. I also found that for a bit there, it gave me a lot of stress and anxiety when our cases were rising each day, and I was like, oh, I'm going to get it, or I'm going to give it to someone else, and it's going to be this big mess, and it was just kind of like rolling into this big negative mindset. My fourth tip is to focus on what you can control. Now, you can't control the cases, you can't control restrictions, you can't control, other people's behaviours. However, you can control your own health, your exercise, your movement, your self-love, what you focus on, and also the time you spend on yourself and others. So, if you want to, focus on what you can change. You can change your nutrition, you can be more consistent with your exercise, making more of an effort. You can spend time on yourself every single day. You can spend time with loved ones, making that connection stronger. I think focus on what you can change, because I think that's where all the benefits are coming from. Don't try to focus on other people, because at the end of the day, you can't change their behaviors or their mindset, what they say, or anything like that. So focus on what you can change, whether that's how much work you do a day. Maybe you should be doing less work. Maybe your efforts should be less or more, anything. My fifth tip is to focus on your family. Now, obviously this is dependent whether you still live at home. I still live at home with my 2 siblings and my mum, so this is a big one for me. Now, I have a very close relationship with my family, I feel, especially my siblings. I feel like in terms of sometimes my friends' relationships with their siblings, mine is definitely a lot stronger or a lot closer. I consider my siblings best friends of mine. And I think, this time in my life, I'm getting to the stage where I'm thinking, or we're thinking about moving out, and we're never going to be this close again, I guess. So we're never going to spend this much time together. So what I've been focusing on is making sure I spend time with each of them. Whether it's watching TV shows together, painting, going for walks, cooking together, having games nights, anything like that. I really am trying to think about how beneficial it all is, and strengthening those relationships, because once I move out of home, that's it, I won't see them as much, and I won't have that closeness, that connection, or be able to spend that much time with them. So I'm really trying to focus on spending more time with them, getting to know them better, and I really feel like it's really helping. I feel we're very close, and we have a lot of fun. So that is a really good tip if you still live at home with your family. My next tip is remembering that even though you have all this time in the world, doesn't mean that you have to utilize every second of it. Don't have that mindset of, oh, well, I can't sit around all day, I have all this time, I need to do something, I need to use it. you know, the mindset of I'm never going to get this opportunity again to work on this or to do this or progress in this area. It is a good mindset in a way, to utilize your time and kind of get ahead. However, there is, I guess, limits to that. You need to focus on also making sure this is a time of relaxation and focusing on your mental health. For me, a lot that's been happening to me quite a bit in the last few weeks. I've definitely focused on it. So initially I was like, I have so much time, you know, I've got all this stuff to do, I need to do it now because when life goes back to normal I'll have less time. So I was working ridiculous hours and you know, just at my desk. I was getting up early, I was working out like crazy, I was trying to be super healthy and fit all these things into my day, and my to-do list was ridiculously long, very unachievable. I never finished it and it was a bit of a nightmare. And then all of a sudden I just had no energy, I completely crashed, I felt exhausted, I had I realised that I've been working myself way too hard. So this might be a time of work for you, or it might be a time of rest and focusing on your health, your mental health, slowing down, focusing on what's best for you, what you want to focus on. Otherwise, you know, you could burn out and it basically all just turned to crap, basically, like it did for me. So remember that. My next tip is to try some new things. So these kind of things, you know, try something that might stimulate your brain. Like, as I've mentioned, you have more time. You know, this time is a time for exploring and discovering new things that you might love. So, like, you know, maybe you want to try painting, or maybe you want to read a book that you've never read, or maybe you want to learn something new, or research a topic that you've always wanted to learn about, or something that you've never wanted to learn about, but maybe knowing it might come in handy. I think just trying something different, you know, and in the long run it might be something that you love doing and might become a staple in your life. You know, I've been reading a lot of books, I did painting as well, I've been watching a lot of movies that I never would have watched, but I'm open to new opportunities and new ways to challenge myself and my values and stimulating my brain. My next tip is to be open with your feelings. I think it's super easy at this time to kind of fall into the trap of, well, someone else or everyone else has it worse off than me, so I feel like I can't feel like this, or I feel like I can't really complain. But let's be honest, quarantine and COVID sucks. You know, you've got no social connection, you can't really go outside, you know, you can't go out to even like a bar or like your friend's house. And it can affect you in so many ways, especially mentally. For me personally, this whole quarantine COVID probably hasn't affected me very much at all. I'm still working my hours, you know, I'm still able to study, even if it's at home. Yes, it's harder to do it from home, but it's still manageable. I have plenty of stuff to do, I have plenty to work on, I'm working on my own business, you know, I've always got something to do. And I'm very fortunate enough to have some exercise equipment in the shed which I can use, but you know, just because I have all those things doesn't mean I'm not allowed to feel kind of crappy on some days, like I have been. You know, sometimes I feel super stressed about the whole situation, very anxious, you know, I can't see my friends, which puts a downer on things, you know. I can't even really go outside, and you know, I can't go to the gym, which for me the gym is very much a mental escape. It's where I feel confident, it's where I love pushing myself, and I always feel amazing afterwards. And for me, not being able to go is pretty mentally, it feels very negative to me, and I feel not so good. So, and I'm allowed to feel like that, and I feel like everyone's allowed to feel however they feel. What they're not allowed to do, despite the circumstances, yes, there are always going to be people worse off than you, but that is always going to be the case. So it doesn't mean that you keep things to yourself. If you're feeling negative, talk to someone, write it down, express your thoughts, and know that you are allowed to feel any way that you feel. Number 9 is to set a goal for yourself every day or every week. So for me, at the start of every week, I kind of write a kind of big to-do list, some goals for myself, and then every day I write a couple of goals down. Now this kind of makes me focused on tasks and keeps me motivated, makes sure I'm productive. Even if I'm not doing something for the whole day, at least for a couple hours or an hour, I am focused on trying to achieve something. I think it just gives you something to work towards, keeps your body moving, keeps your mind going, and it might be something as simple as like read a chapter. That might be your goal for the day, or for you, goal for the week might be to go for a walk 6 days a week, anything like that. I think set yourself a goal, try to achieve it. Then next week set yourself another goal, or set yourself a few goals. I think it just honestly keeps you more motivated, keeps you moving, progressing, keeps your mind off all the negatives in the world, and you're focusing on yourself and something that you can control. Number 10 is to make 2 out of 3 meals healthier. Now this obviously depends on a lot of things. Maybe you don't eat 3 meals a day, but I was just going based off you eat 3 meals and a couple of snacks. Now I think being at home, it's easier to kind of go for not as healthy options. For me personally, when I'm not at home, I pre-make healthy meals, eat it at work, and then I know that I can't just go and sneak to the pantry or the fridge and eat, a few treats. So I think, to try and keep yourself feeling healthy, feeling nourished, and keeping your nutrients up, try to make 2 out of your 3 meals healthy. Whether that's you choose a healthy breakfast and a healthy lunch and then eat whatever you want for dinner, or healthy lunch, dinner, breakfast, dinner, anything like that. You're at home, you're exercising less, most likely, getting less movement. I think eat healthier, it'll kind of counteract the less movement, and I think it'll be overall beneficial for you if you try to focus on being healthy for most part of your day. Number 11 is to do something constant every day. So this is something I love doing as it kind of keeps normality. So this I actually like to do even when we're not in quarantine. This is something I always like to do despite the external environment. So this can be as simple as just getting up and making your bed. I make my bed every morning. It's ready to go. I don't know what I love about it, but it's kind of makes you feel like you've already achieved something and your day hasn't even started. Even if you have the worst day in the world, you know that you have achieved something as little as making your bed. And also, I absolutely love getting into bed at night when my bed's all nice, made and clean. I don't know what it is. But sort of keeping like a constant, whether that's you exercise at the same time every day, or breakfast at the same time, you meditate as soon as you get up, you brush your teeth, shower, moisturize, anything like that. You always read before bed. I think it just kind of keeps you feeling normal, and each day, is kind of similar. And you've always achieved something no matter how crappy your day is. Number 12 is to get up and move every hour. Now this is especially important if you are working from home. I know that I can go hours and hours without getting up from a chair, and as soon as I do that I feel so stiff and sore and not good. And it is recommended that we break up long periods of sitting down anyway. So something I like to do is every hour I get up, literally just walk around my house once, twice, 3 times. If I'm at work, I just walk around the office. You can do a couple squats, a couple high knees, just even if it's just for like a minute. Get up, move your body, do some stretches, and I promise you it'll be way more beneficial than sitting down for 4 hours and getting up and then doing half an hour of workouts. Number 13 is to do a YouTube workout. Now obviously being at home, not everyone has access to lots of gym equipment. I'm lucky I have access to some people don't have any. A lot of equipment was sold out online anyway, so it can be pretty difficult to come by, or it's expensive equipment as well. So if you are wanting to get more movement in but don't have the equipment, don't know what to do, don't know how to start, don't know how to structure a session, go on YouTube. There is endless videos you can follow along, literally 10 minutes, 20 minutes and 30, an hour, strength sessions, no equipment, dumbbell only, just ab sessions, Pilates, yoga. It is seriously endless, and you can follow along at your own pace, modify the exercises as you want, and yeah, maybe get a good sweat up. And you know what, it's like a free gym. It's like having a free personal trainer. Number 14 is to have set break and study times. So this is actually, well, if you're studying from home, have set times where you work, study. For example, you might start studying, working at 9, and then at 11 o'clock you have a 20-minute break or a half an hour break. Then you do 2 more hours, and then you do 20 minutes break. So have a set structure. For me, I study usually from, do 2 hours in the morning, and then I do my workout, then I study for another 2 hours, and I have lunch, and then I study for another 2 to 3 hours, and then that's it. And then I switch off, and that is when I do my own thing. I read, or I watch movies, or I watch Netflix or something. I feel like it's a lot more efficient. You set yourself a few hours of work, and you know, I feel like it goes a lot quicker. For example, you say I only have to work for 2 hours and then I get a big break. I feel like that's, for me personally, that's a lot more efficient, and I'm not struggling there for 5 hours at a time trying to get something done. Also, having a set finishing time I feel like is super important when you're working at home. I know for me it's very easy to just continue working into the night because, you know, you've got the time, you're at home, oh, I'll just do one more little thing, and just take a little bit longer, but it just gradually increases, and then by the time you get to bed it's late, or by the time you get to watch a movie it's late, and yeah, I think overall it's not very beneficial. So have your set start times, your set break times, your set finish time. And there are my tips. I really hope you guys enjoyed those and that they're useful for you. They are definitely useful for me. Please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know of any tips that you have been using during this quarantine. I would love to know. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, a week, night, and I'll see you next time.